Of that, we want to dig a little bit more into the miners beyond just the precious metal itself. Miners are catching a pretty big bid here. So could this be the golden opportunity for your money, this way to play? So let's go to the charts. Chris, head over to that plasma, break it down for us, show us what we should be looking at.
You know, I think one of the big stories, and Tim hit on this, is gold's strength predates before we knew about this virus. I also think gold has been going up as the dollar has gone up as well. So gold has diverged from the typical relationship we see from USD. I would rather be a buyer of gold than I would dollars here. Here's gold over the last several years. The big breakout for us came above this 1,400 level late last year. It had been resistance, resistance, resistance for the better part of the last 3 years. So we're clearly through that. So let's put this in some historical context. There's nothing in front of us. Where can we go? Well, if we take a little step back and just look at gold, really over the last 30 years, you see really two big up moves. You had this big base that we started to form in the late 90s, big rally that followed, peaked at about 1950 in 2011. And then we've had this big base and this rally. Gold trades 1610 today, 1950 is the next major level. I suspect that's ultimately where this is headed. And if you look at what also may catch up here, it's silver. Silver has not broken out yet. I think if you're looking for more beta, this is another way to play it. Starting to base, you start to get gold and silver working together. I think it's very reflective that there's more to go for this precious metal move. Our favorite stock, Guy talks about it as well, Newmont. This is a major breakout. This is a 5-year breakout. The stock's been in a base for the better part of the last 3 years. Finally getting up through 40, challenging 45. I think 60 is the target here. You go all the way back to where it was in 2011, traded as high as 75. So there's some major breakouts going on with the gold stocks. Newmont is an example. I suspect silver will get involved here as well. But gold in context of history, look at those 2011 highs near that 1900, 1950 level, I think is the longer term target of where this can go.
Good stuff. Chris, come on back.
This is the book of James, chapter 5, verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your misery that shall come upon you. Brakat the Yahweh, Brakat the Yahweh Shai, Brakat the Yahweh, Brakat the Yahweh Shai, Brakat the Yahweh, Brakat the Yahweh Shai, Kol Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem Rekakadash. First off, I would like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching and preaching this truth. And with all sincerity, to the Akim out there on the highways and byways, to the 1/3 men, women, and children, and the house of David, the 144,000 elect men. This is Ayah Shatad with Las Vegas Men of Valor Camp. This is just a quick video on just this system, these beautiful times that we're living in. But I'm going to continue on and read verse 2. Once again, it's going to be James. It's going to be chapter 5 and verse 2. Your riches are corrupt, and your garments are moth-eaten. So it's talking about the wicked elite of this society, Esau Edom, that is, in power for this very short time that he has left, and how his garments are moth-eaten from all this wickedness and these riches that he's stored up. And as it said in verse 1, Salaki, as it said in verse 1, misery, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come up upon you. So you're getting back tenfold what you did to Israel. But I'm not going to keep on going into that. It speaks for itself. Continue on with the scriptures. Verse 3. Your gold and silver is cankered. Your gold and silver is cankered. Here it is that there is a financial collapse. And Esau is here telling you that you should invest. If you're going to invest any time, you need to invest now in gold and silver because it is going up. If you look historically, Esau is funny. Esau is the devil. Oh my goodness. And He's telling you should invest what little money that you have into this system, because this system is dying. This system is, it's not dying, it's dead. It's on life support right now. um, Continue on and read. And then the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and it shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. So Edom is telling you to trade in and your reserve notes and get you some gold so you can heap the treasures for the last day. And it's really for those who can afford it, but truly knowing that it's to no effect. Because what Esau is doing is taking this gold and storing it up, and he's storing all this gold and everything up, and he's buying it at a low price. Jake can't afford that. Jake can barely afford to keep the lights on. But here he is telling you to, invest in gold. If there was any time to invest, it would be now in these particular stocks in gold and silver. But this is clearly just stating otherwise. Just funny. Too funny. And he's telling you that you should, be ready to get everything back together and prepare, because, this thing is going to turn around, and he's going to, they're going to do this thing and they're going to make it better than ever, and, get this thing together again. But lo and behold, let's go to Malachi. Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. And it reads, where Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Now this is the pride of Esau Edom. He said he will return and build the desolate places. He's seeing his kingdom go out right now, and the stock crashing, everything falling. He's sort of in a panic, but he's trying to remain calm. If you've been watching the news and things of that nature, and then you see him panicking, but trying to have a calm panic. Just to continue, read on to in verse 4. Once again, this is chapter 1, the book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 4, and I'm going to start from the beginning. And it reads once again, where Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, thou shalt build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh hath indignation forever. So Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai is not going to let their kingdom be rebuilt whatsoever. He is not going to let their kingdom be rebuilt, because they're the border of wickedness. They continue to do wickedness. They're the sword for Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, but they continue to do wickedness, and they're just doing what they were made for. So that right there is just crazy, that they even think that they're going to build again and continue on with this wicked system that they have going. Just downright crazy. I'm going to return back to this video for a minute just to go into it just a little bit further. Salakia.
was one Louise Yamada.
And she
who says, Guy, I'm teeing you up, please.
well, she says the longer the base or the larger the base, the longer
the bigger
in
the
space.
base.
Very
Space.
Spinal Tappy type thing without getting into great detail, Courtney. But to answer your question, I agree 100%. And I'll give you another. To Tim's level in the GDX, here's your line in the sand. You close above 32 in that sucker, and it's off to the races for all these miners. That's your bogey, and it closed today, I think, at 30.65.
All right, BK, what do you think of gold?
So-
And then I want to get your take on silver, too.
Yeah, well,
We haven't gone there yet.
So I bought silver today. So
Okay.
that tells you what I think about it. I think it actually can catch up. And I think the key point is what Chris made. These metals, and gold in particular, have done this with a strong dollar. So imagine if you get any weakness in the dollar, what's going to happen to these things? So you've taken that kind of, strong dollar is bad for gold out of the equation for this trade. And to me, I think, gold higher, silver makes that catch up. And silver's kind of a fun one to trade because it's extremely volatile.
Is gold going to go as high as 1950 ultimately, as Chris says?
Sure, yeah. I think it breaks out above that. I mean, not tomorrow, but
Not tomorrow.
I think very soon.
And the other part of this, so I think there's unanimity, great work by Chris. But if you look at other miners and if you look at other, reflation trades, and again, we're not really talking about gold as a reflation trade, but the charts on a Rio Tinto or a BHP Billiton don't look so good. Freeport Mac, look at the steel companies. They're all trading on the economic macro kind of.
So now I'm going to go into the book of Isaiah, chapter 24, and starting at verse 1. Behold, Yahweh maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. And it shall be a waste, Slakia, and it shall be as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the tanker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him. So Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is telling you that he's going to make this place laid to waste. This Esau is not coming back, and his system is not moving forward, no matter what he does. And no matter what he continues to try to do in his market in Wall Street or whatever, whatnot, it will fail. It will fail. Thus saith Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. It will fail horribly. And continue it on to this next clip that you see right here is another thing to prove it. Let's watch.
On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average plummeted 10% Thursday in its biggest drop since 1987. Airlines and cruise companies have been particularly hard hit. Major international cruise lines, including Princess Cruises and Viking, have suspended operations. President Trump's ban on Europeans flying into the United States from 26 European countries goes into effect midnight tonight. The stock market losses came despite the Federal Reserve injecting about $1.5 trillion into the financial
$1.5 trillion. Despite putting $1.5 trillion into the market, it didn't do anything. Continuing on to Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 3 to close out, and it reads, "The land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled, for Yahweh hath spoken this word. The earth mourneth, and the Salakia, the earth mourneth, and the fadeth away. The world languish and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. So, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai said that this system is not going to happen. It will fade away. It will fade away. The earth mourneth and will fade away. Esau's system is done. Salaki, if it was a little bit all over the place, I hope it was edifying. Until the next time, Shalom.
Robert Reich tweeted,